Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most underrated I'm playing. Last time I did the OG and I said this shit was underrated, bear people got pissed off. It was underrated to me, okay? To me. Where I lived, nobody was talking about Trigun, okay? I don't know what the deal is, homie, but it was underrated in my hood. Either way, let's get into Trigun Stampede. But before we get started, make sure to slap that subscribe button, shoot the bell icon in the head like it's freaking knives, and yeah, let's get it. Trigun is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Yasuhiro Naitao. The manga was first serialized in Tokama's Shoten Shonen Captain in 1996 with a total of 3 collected volumes. After the magazine was discontinued in 1997, the series continued in Shonen Gaosha's Young King Hours magazine under the title Trigun Maximum until its completion in 2008. Years later, the franchise returned with Trigun Stampede, a reimagined anime adaptation produced by Studio Orange. Unlike the original 1998 anime by Madhouse, Trigun Stampede uses a modern CG animation style and retells the story of Vash for a new generation. The series aired in Japan from January 7, 2023 to March 25, 2023 on TV Tokyo, totaling 12 episodes. It was also streamed internationally by Crunchyroll. Now, let's dive in. One day, the colony fleet's journey to settle on a new world ends in disaster when catastrophe strikes in space. In the middle of the chaos, Rem sacrifices herself to save 2 young twin brothers, Vash and Knives, sending them down to the nearby planet known as No Man's Land. Years later, the surviving humans have managed to stay alive in the brutal desert environment by relying on mysterious beings called plants, which provide water, electricity, and the basic resources needed for civilization. But the planet remains harsh, unstable, and full of danger. By this point, Vash has already become infamous across No Man's Land as Vash the Stampede, a legendary outlaw with a huge bounty on his head. Despite his fearsome reputation, Vash isn't a ruthless criminal that people believe him to be. He is found by 2 reporters, Meryl Streep and Roberto De Niro, who end up protecting him from military police trying to capture him for the bounty. The group travels to Janora Rock, a town where Vash is surprisingly treated like a hero. However, Vash quickly realizes the town's plant is failing, putting everyone's survival at risk. The military police catch up to him, but Vash defeats their leader in a duel and destroys a cluster bomb with a single perfect shot. Roberto notices that Vash seems haunted by something deeper than just his wanted status. Vash admits he is worried about Nye, now known as Millions Knives, the brother he believes is responsible for Rem's death and humanity being stranded on No Man's Land. Vash explains that he has been blamed for stealing plants, but Knives is the real culprit. Before he can explain more, the people of Janora turn on him, hoping to claim the bounty and repair their dying plant. At the same time, the outlaw duo, known as the Hard Punch Nebraskas, arrive to capture him too. Vash leads the Nebraskas away to protect the townspeople, but when they lose him, they decide to attack the town instead. Vash returns to stop them, and when one of the Nebraskas falls from a cliff, Vash convinces the townspeople to save him. This act of mercy creates peace between the town and the Nebraskas. That peace, however, does not last. Strange insect-like bombs suddenly attach themselves to the Nebraska and explode. More bombs appear, targeting Vash and the townspeople, and Roberto identifies this as the work of E.G. Hamilton, a killer who was infamous for using bombs. Vash, Meryl, and Roberto manage to force Hamilton to disable the bombs, and Vash once again prevents the townspeople from killing him. But then Knives arrives. He murders Hamilton and several townspeople, cuts off the elder Nebraska's arm, steals the town's plant, and destroys Janora Rock with a devastating attack. When the survivors discover that Knives is Vash's brother, they angrily reject him. Vash leaves and heads east toward July City to pursue Knives. On the road, Meryl accidentally hits a wandering priest carrying a wrapped cross. They bring him along and stop at a refueling station, only to find nearly everyone there murdered except for a young boy. Suddenly, the group is swallowed by a massive grand worm. Inside the creature, the boy disappears and Meryl and Roberto go missing. Vash and the priest are spat out, but Vash allows himself to be swallowed again. Interesting. So he can rescue the others. He realizes the boy is controlling the worm. The priest then reveals that his cross is actually a weapon and uses it to slice the worm open from the inside. Afterward, he introduces himself as Nicholas D. Wolfwood and joins the group. However, Wolfwood later secretly meets with the boy, Zazie the Beast, revealing that both of them are working for Knives. The group later reaches an abandoned wind-powered settlement. There, they are attacked by a massive cyborg targeting Vash. Through flashbacks, it is revealed that the cyborg was once a boy named Rollo. His village, desperate after the wind stopped, chose him as a sacrifice. Vash once promised to protect him, but he was taken by Knives' organization and transformed into a weapon. He returned to slaughter the village, including his own mother. Knives now uses Rollo's pain and resentment against Vash. Vash tries to calm him, but Wolfwood kills him, arguing that the boy's humanity had already been taken away. Vash is pissed, but Wolfwood forces him to face the cost of failing to save someone. Meryl and Roberto later drop Vash and Wolfwood off at a port where they board a sand steamer headed for July. During the trip, Vash is attacked by Livio, an assassin connected to Wolfwood's past. Years earlier, Wolfwood and Livio lived together at the Hopeland Orphanage. Wolfwood was taken by the Eye of Michael, Knives' organization, and experimented on until his body became stronger, but prematurely aged. He was forced to work for them to protect Livio. In the present, Vash and Wolfwood try to stop Livio without killing him, but Legato Blue Summers sabotages the sand steamer, sending it toward Hopeland. The Badlands gang also attacks, turning the situation into complete chaos. Wolfwood confronts Livio directly, while Vash fights through the steamer and reunites with Meryl and Roberto. Wolfwood eventually reaches Livio emotionally, causing Livio to remember their bond and the terrible things that he's done. Overwhelmed, Livio shoots himself. Legato then activates the steamer's ion cannon and aims it at Hopeland, but Vash, Wolfwood, and Meryl work together to redirect it. With the steamer still on course for disaster, Wolfwood heads to stop the engine while Vash goes to the plant chamber. There, the others discover that Vash can communicate with plants and has plant-like powers himself. Vash then experiences a flashback to the human colonization fleet where it is revealed he and Knives are independents, human-like beings born from plants. Vash once trusted Knives with the colony fleet's command codes, but Knives used them to sabotage the ships. After the crash, Vash wandered the desert until survivors from Ship 3 rescued him. Their leader, Luida, kept him alive despite distrust from others. When Ship 3's plant began failing, Vash healed it with his powers, earning the survivors' trust. Over the years, he helped repair plants across No Man's Land, but when Brad uncovered Vash and Knives' role in the crash, Vash left out of guilt. Vash eventually found Knives at another crash ship where Knives watched humans drain plants to build a city. This convinced Knives that humanity had to be destroyed. When Knives tried to force Vash to kill Luida, Vash refused. During the conflict, Vash accidentally opened a mysterious gate in his left arm, and Knives cut the arm off to stop it. Knives then promised to destroy millions of humans and create a world ruled by plants. In the present, Ship 3 saves the sand steamer, and the older Luida shows Meryl and Roberto a terrarium meant to help terraform No Man's Land. But Zazie kidnaps them and takes them to July, revealing that Zazie is actually a hive mind representing the planet's worms, who are deciding whether to side with humans or plants. Vash and Wolfwood reach July, where Vash admits he knows Wolfwood has been working for Knives. At Knives' base, Meryl and Roberto meet Bill Conrad, a researcher trying to create weaponized humans and plant-human hybrids. His past experiments include Monive, Nicholas, and Livio. When Meryl shows pity toward the hybrid children, one named Elendira attacks. Vash and Wolfwood arrive, but Roberto is fatally wounded. Before dying, he gives Meryl his Derringer, inspiring her to confront Knives. Knives traps Vash inside a tank and forces a mental connection with him. Conrad explains that plants draw power from a higher dimensional core. Knives wants to use Vash's ability to open a two-way gate to give every plant a soul, creating more independence and wiping out humanity. Knives manipulates Vash's memories, showing him the cruel experiments done to another independent child. He finally breaks Vash by claiming he destroyed the fleet for Vash's sake. Their synchronization then opens the gate, and Vash's body begins creating massive tendrils that destroy July. Meryl reaches Vash and pleads for him to wake up. Her voice brings him back, allowing him to eject Knives from the higher dimension. The brothers battle for control of the core, while Wolfwood saves Meryl. Vash loads the core into his gun and fires it into space to safely release its power. Knives tries to recover it, but ends up disappearing, presumed dead. Vash then crashes into July, destroying the city. 2 years pass, and Vash is once again a fugitive, now carrying an unbelievable $60 billion dollar? Or double dollar? What y'all want me to say? last time I said dollar in the OG 90s anime, and I know it was called double dollar, but I thought it sounded stupid, and some people crashed out. Either way, that worth a lot. And Meryl visits July's ruins to honor Roberto and learns that humans from Earth are on their way. She is also assigned a new partner, Millie Thompson. Meanwhile, Vash lives quietly in a small settlement with no memory of who he is. Far away in space, another human fleet led by the independent Chronica detects the gate disturbance and traces it to no man's land. And that's the end of Trigun Stampede. And if you want to know what happens next in Trigun Stargaze, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, shoot the bell icon so you never miss another video, and join the membership. Really appreciate the support with the channel. We're at 35K subscribers. The goal is to reach 50K by the end of the year. Until next time, deuces.